don't believe I'm gonna do this game. Good day, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Heart of the Swarm replay cast by me, Wardí from SC2 Improve. It's always a great pleasure to be able to go through these casts, and hopefully there's going to be a lot more to come. Today we're actually going to be looking at a PvT, a game I got from Krallman. In the bottom right hand corner we do have our red Terran player. He is the Brisingr, and Brisingr, I guess Bri, something along those lines. He's the Terran in the bottom right hand corner. In the top left hand corner, our blue HotS player Krallman. And we'll see what's going to come up. I mean, it's Heart of the Swarm, we're on Akilon flats. It's a little bit of a new map, of course, recently introduced on the Wings of Liberty ladder. The natural is actually really open, which is one of the really interesting things about this map. Really open. A lot of space to do some damage, and even elevator up, warp prism up, anything like that. So really opens a lot of opportunities for both players. Then as you move over, you can take your third down here if you would like, and you can kind of hold your third in your natural really easy, especially if you're a Terran player. Tanks just on the higher ground, defending the entrance to your third, and even as a Terran player, attacking onto this third base, tanks on the high ground. The high ground is really abusable, so be interesting if we see any of that. Of course, you've got the base over to the right here as well, which can be usually taken as a fourth. It can be taken as a third as well if you like. It kind of depends where your preferences lie. So right now we do see the Terran player. He's just going to begin scouting around with his initial SCV, of course, and well, he's just going to start mining on the minerals, and stealing a few minerals from Krallman here, but not going to be too much of a nuisance so far. And he just sees a single gas for now. Not too much Corona boost being saved on the Nexus, and the gateway coming down as well. So Krallman, he is trying to scout too, but he's only seen a barracks at the front. He can't tell what else is happening. Brisingr is actually going for a gas here, so he's going to be playing with a gas, and you know that creates a lot of options immediately as to what this could be, as to what could be about to happen. So he's obviously probably going to be going for factory opening, especially as he hasn't already started a tech lab or reactor. And he also just cleans up this probe in the natural with his first marine, so we're probably going to be seeing the factory, and there in fact is the factory coming down. So interesting to see what opening we're going to see from our Terran player. And we'll see how Krallman wants to react. He's actually got a second gas up already. He's finishing his Cybernetics core off, and so he's going to start up his warp gate, and that means he's also very soon going to be able to start up his mothership core as well. So we'll see when he wants to get that. Of course, it's going to come down on one of the nexuses, and it's probably going to be around the time he wants to take an expansion or so. Just going to delay the probe mining for probably just 1.5 probes basically. That's the amount of time it delays for. As Brisingr, after his scouting, he's just going to pull back, take the tower, wait to see what's up really. I mean, Krallman, what's he going to do? He's got the gas here to play with. He's actually got a lot of a fair amount of money. Both players have a fair amount of money, and Brisingr has got the reactor on his barracks, so he's going to be going for the reactor to expand as the expansion just come up as well. So immediately seen, oh no, he's actually going to be going for double window mines, so going to be able to defend from very early kind of aggression without an observer, and that's pretty cool. Straight off the bat, it's going to be pretty interesting, intriguing to see how effective they do turn out being. As Krallman as well right now just going to be taking his own Nexus and going up to a Stargate here. So I mean, you know, usually if this was Wings of Liberty, you'd be thinking, wait, what, you're taking a Stargate? It's PvT. So yeah, I mean, what does this really mean? I suppose probably Oracle is going to be coming out of Krallman. We'll have a little bit of a discussion about them if they do indeed start to come out as well. These first two Widow Mines, 2 Stalkers going down. This was a game played a week or two ago, before the kind of extra damage came into the Widow Mines. So they don't one-shot the Stalkers yet, but of course they do now. So if that was if this was now, essentially that Stalker would have been dead off the first Widow Mine hit. As the second Stalker now moving out on the map, and a probe moving out as well, as Krallman does start up that Oracle in the production tab. So we'll have a little bit of a look-sees at its abilities as it does pop out. And well, our Terran player, what's he up to? He's now going into a few Hellions to take us a little bit of map control. He's actually on a second factory, so it looks like he wants to play mech here. You know, no real reason not to. And, yeah, of course, siege tech not needed anymore. He could very possibly go for blue flame on the tech lab. He's going to get his tank out immediately as well, so he's going to be able to just siege as soon as his tank gets out. And so he's going to be very well defended almost immediately, as this first oracle does start to move down the bottom of the map. So let's have a little look for its abilities. The Revelation, of course, which causes the enemy units and structures within the target area to grant vision for 60 seconds. So there you go. Over on Envision, we see that Oracle allows to it allows the Oracle to detect cloaked, buried, and hallucinated units for 30 seconds. And of course, the Pulsar beam is basically the most important thing here, and that's probably what Krallman's going to be using as he comes in right now. But the Widow Mine shutting that down almost immediately. Krallman doing no damage at all with his first Oracle. Second Oracle now coming across the map, and well, we'll see if it's any more effective as a Widow Mine takes out something else. So these Widow Mines being so effective right now for Brisingr. And Krallman's actually going up to robotics bay back in his base. He's got 3 gateways up in his robo facility. And well, we'll see what else this Oracle do is it's turned around immediately from the Widow Mine. So Brisingr, with some very early kind of just defensive play, defensive position with the mines, going to be able to hold on from these Oracles very easily. As Double Forge now coming up for Krallman as well. So he's just going to play relatively greedy off of this. And he is a little bit behind, so you know, he's behind because the Oracles, he invested in them, they did absolutely no damage, so essentially this whole Stargate was a little bit of a waste of time, and we actually don't see the Mothership core out quite yet from Krallman, as, again, these Oracles, this one Oracle that's still on the map, he's just been trying to move around with and do whatever he can, but he's not really going to be able to get in the natural, not realistically, not with so many mines about, not in the main base either, so, and there's also a Viking here now, just in case the mines aren't enough, and actually more and more mines being invested in, as we see the starport is down as well. That's where the Viking came from. And well, it looks like we're going to be seeing the this Oracle needs to be careful in there. The mine does go off, defending the tank. So again, the Oracle's doing nothing so far, and we have 3 factories now down for Brisingr. So his mech play is starting to really get going here. As the Observer from Krallman is moving down, just coming to scout around right now, as he's also got a Phoenix out, so going to be able to move around with this Phoenix and try and see what's up exactly. He's actually moving around to the top right, looking as though he's just scouting for drops with that. Probably looking to deny any kind of Hellbat drops, because damn, everyone's complaining about them. And well, Krallman with this Observer right now, he sees these mines, he sees 1 mine, 2 mine, doesn't dare to go much further in the base right now. Brisingr continuing to just move these mines out, as he's going to start taking his bases down. He's actually floating a barracks over here, so it looks like he wants to be taking this base as his third right now, which I find a little bit confusing considering this base here is essentially already covered by these 2 tanks defensively, so a little bit weird to try and take this base, but what the heck, why not? Krallman's going to be taking this base also, taking them down, rocks down a little bit faster, as, well, the Observer, again, just waiting to see if anything moves out of the base of Brisingr. So Brisingr going to get his third down a little bit faster than the Protoss player, not too much by the time it morphs into an orbital, and now starting his own upgrades on the double armory as well. So pretty much just seeing a mech versus a mech Terran versus a Colossi Protoss right now, and well, something that looks very effective to mech in the early stages of the beta has been the Tempests. So, you know, for Krallman, if he gets that fleet beacon up, the Tempests are a possibility. You know, they can attack from very far away. They can force on sieges as well. So, be interesting to maybe see Krallman invest in a couple of Tempests here, and you know, really kind of spice things up a little bit. Apart from that, we actually see some Hellions now moving around the map. Of course, they can transform into Hellbats now that the armories are down, and Krallman actually takes down that first Hellion almost instantly as it runs into the third base, just trying to do a little bit of scouting. The barracks over here, going to tell Brisingr pretty much everything about this 4th base and when it ever goes down. Krallman also invested in a Void Wave, which is another unit which has been buffed a fair amount in the beta, of course, and they are pretty damn powerful right now. In fact, if you haven't seen the video of QXC, where he smashes his keyboard after losing to some kind of Void Ray attack from a Pros player, it's pretty funny, so go find that. It's a good laugh, and it's all because of Void Rays, man. God damn it, Void Rays. So Void Rays, moving out to the right hand side, we'll see what that really wants to be used for. Again, this mine on the middle of the map is going to be picked off by the Colossi. The Colossi getting really close to there, but there we go. Going to pick that off. Now they're going to be able to start picking off these mines if Brisingr isn't careful about his positioning with them. But look at the supplies. Brisingr up about 20-30 supply constantly, and well, Krallman, he's starting up some panels to the left hand side. It looks like he wants to get a bit aggressive. He's going to clear out 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 mines right now. That tank's going to do a little bit of damage here, but Krallman's just going to pull back and may consider going in another direction. Some Vikings going to come around, try and pick off a Colossi. Tank doing some decent damage to him. Nice control from Brisingr is going to be able to keep these Vikings alive for now. So another mine about to go down here. So Krallman doing a nice job picking these off. These Vikings, one of them finally going down. But Brisingr going to start just reinforcing with tanks, and Krallman can't really fight into this at all. You know, them tanks are going to do too much splash damage, and so he's just going to fall back. He's taking an upgrade lead, of course, because he's continuing to use them double upgrades, the double forge. The 2-2 has finished for him, and 2-2 is on the way for the town player, but not necessarily in the foreseeable future. As well, where did that Void Ray go? It looks like a couple of Void Rays still over to that right hand side here, and now moving down to join up with the army. So Krallman also investing in the Storm Tech. That Templar Archives has gone down, and pretty much all of this just going to be you know, useful with trying to deal with the mech army. You know, feedbacks to go down on the fours, storms to be able to go down on the siege tanks because they can't move out of them. So it's going to be interesting, but Brisingr is actually going to be getting aggressive right now. He's moving up the left hand side of the map. He's going to look to deny this 4th base and get into probably this position up here. As you can see with the scan, he sees that the army's there, and so I'd be really surprised if he didn't just try and abuse this high ground position. And there we go, the tanks are beginning to siege, and he is setting them, a lot of them actually, to siege on that high ground. And there is we go. Hellbat's actually running in a little bit there. Gonna have to pull back, and Krallman gonna have to be a little bit careful as well. These mines in a nice little position as well tonight, but Krallman completely locked out of his 4th base right now. No way he can defend that, and these Hellbats gonna move over there and begin denying it. These Templar do have some energy building up on them. It actually looks like Krallman wants to go for this. A lot of Colossi coming down. The Hellbat's not really in front to kind of do any kind of tanking. SCVs, which were brought to repair, coming in as well. The Void Rays doing a lot of damage, taking them Void Rays, the Vikings down so quickly. The rest of the tanks are going to be able to do so much damage. So many of these Colossi going down as well, and the 4s reinforcing is just about enough to send Krallman back home. And Brisingr with a very strong contain starting to be set up right now, as if he reinforces this attack with a few more tanks, he's going to be in a great position. Now moving over to his 4th base as well with this orbital command. So Brisingr looking to be in a very strong position right now. I mean, he's up in supply, he's essentially containing Krallman. He's got this 4th base cut off, it's completely useless right now. Krallman, he's got a way to kind of harass a little bit, but with some tanks kind of left behind right now, I really don't see that being too effective unless he warps in a lot of zealots to deal with it. And when he's under constant aggression like this, look at these bunkers consistently moving forward. However, Krallman, he actually thinks it's time to go right now, and actually Brisingr doesn't seem to have that much army right here right now. The rest of his tanks just starting to reinforce. The Templars going to storm, and Brisingr moving his tanks back through them storms, but again he does have enough right now to be able to hold on. And again, that base for Krallman is just not able to be used because of this contain. So Krallman having a tough time breaking out of this, as more tanks reinforce. The Hellions and Hellions coming up the map as well, and well, 3-3 on the way for this mech army is going to make it very, very powerful, especially with Krallman for getting his own 3-3. That's not good, really. I mean, you never want to forget your 3-3, and now a couple of Hellions over here actually going to be starting to take down that base slowly but surely, as Krallman tries to expand to the top right, but that's not going to be too effective either. A single man here is going to see anything transferring over there. And well, you know, Brisingr just looks like he's got good army still. Krallman, he's going to move over to deal with these Hellbats, these Void Rays, just you know, sitting on top of the army as well, just looking for a way to do damage. But with these fours here, it's going to be difficult. And look at this tank line for Krallman as well. If he starts extending a bit further to the right, then he's going to be even in a bad position, because again, this base up here will not be able to be used at all. So Krallman, he's getting these Archons down right now. A nice scan takes out an observer, but it looks like Temper tried to move forward there. A little bit of a Hellion run by to the right hand side, but most of them Hellions getting picked off though. Another scan going down. Brisingr constantly just trying to edge forward here with his units, and now he's actually going to start getting some tank shots off. Krallman under a lot of pressure again. This container is really starting to get pressure in. Krallman needs to try and break out of this ASAP. The Wardí is now coming in, the whole army coming in. The Zealots, they don't actually have charge. Does Brisingr's army have enough beef in it to deal with this? It looks like the supply is dropping rapidly for Krallman right now. The rest of these tanks in the back doing a lot of damage. Is it enough though? The Vikings taking down the Colossi. The last few tanks are actually going to die, but Brisingr, he's going to come out of this with a 50 supply advantage. So still, despite kind of looking like he lost the fight completely, he's up in supply right now. He's got so many tanks at home, which is where all his supplies held up. He's actually kind of ahead on workers as well, which is a reason for having a little bit of trouble kind of in terms of army supplies. Army supplies are going to be a little bit lower down than you might expect it to be. As well, Krallman finally going to be able to take this 4th base. I think that's one thing Brisingr maybe didn't really think about too as much as he should have. He should have thought, hey, let's kill that 4th base while I have the opportunity now, instead of when he breaks this, letting him mine from it. So a little bit of a mistake by Brisingr, but right now he's still up by 60 supply, and these Vikings just moving around, probably going to go for a little bit of scout. They might even find this Phoenix over here. Looks like they're just going to drop down there and start harassing. 3 Stalkers warping almost instantly. These Vikings are just going to have to try get away, but they will find their this Phoenix on the way out, and in fact that kind of causes them to, one of them to die, as another 2 Vikings misrallied here to the middle. Krallman picking them off with much ease. Wouldn't mind taking a little bit, doing a little bit damage to a Stalker there. And well, you know, still a lot of tanks are Brisingr, only now it's not containing Krallman, which, I mean, for Krallman, in Krallman's mind, that's like fantastic, right? You know, finally broken out, finally got some map control. This guy, he's not just building up a mech army and I can't do anything about it. Finally we see the Mothership Core coming down for Krallman, which I really think could have been utilised a lot earlier in the game with the Time Warp ability, maybe on Vikings to save some of his Colossi, for example, keep them in storms a little bit longer, or whatever else. A little bit surprised not to see it at all, as we actually see a Fusion Core coming down for Brisingr, and he's also investing in a Raven. So right now, Brisingr, he's taking an expansion to the bottom left, he's taking an expansion up to the top right as well, and he's actually now going to spot the Pro-X expansion to the top right. So we'll see if he wants to do anything about that. His Zealots warping into the bottom left will be able to start denying this expansion, which has SCVs suddenly just coming over here. So this is the problem with having orbital commands as your kind of 4th and 5th bases. It's very hard to deal with harassment over there, and he will be forced to lift that up. He's going to pull his SCVs. Hellbats coming in to save the day, of course, and well, Hellbats are pretty good, so I'm told, and well, let's see what they can do. Holy shit, they just raped the Zealots. Wow, that wasn't even close. So yeah, Hellbats pretty good. Brisingr needs to deal with this pylon in the back. He has, again right now, Krallman just sees the army, sees what's up. He'll start seeing the Ravens being added into the army as well right now. In fact, one of the Ravens going straight past the Observer, as Krallman sees with his probe the base to the right hand side. So that base is going to go down as well here. So Brisingr really just kind of struggling to get too many more units. Kind of struggling to just defend his expansions altogether right now, as Stalkers with this bottom left pylon are now being warped in. This is kind of one of the troubles of mech, just being able to deal with this kind of harassment. And he's going to send some aliens over here to try and deal with them. But look at this, actually Tempest coming out for Krallman. He's going for a kind of mass Tempest transition to go up against the battle cruisers. So 3 of them on the way right now. The Hellbats over here going to start attacking the Stalkers, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. Not with this Tempest here as well. This scan goes down, and actually this Tempest is now going to get chased down by the Vikings. It's a little bit slower. Actually Brisingr just completely missing it. Looks like these Hellbats are actually going to end up cleaning up these Stalkers, so wow, they really are quite strong. Of course it is 3-3 against 2-2. And Krallman actually continues to just warp in these units just to try and defend as long as possible, but this pylon will finally go down now, as Brisingr just keeps adding on commands, and he's got up to this battlecruiser. He's got up to the battlecruiser stage now. He's getting them up in the air. He's starting up his ship weapons as well, which is also his ship armor, of course, now. And you know, unless he already got his ship defenses. Is that true? Well, he already got that. Oh, of course. Okay, I get it. Mech armor and ship armor is the same, but it looks like, look at this, the Tempest's coming in now, going to try and break this siege tank line with their attacks. Taking quite a few attacks to take anything down. The Vikings coming in right now, the Ravens as well, throwing down a point defense during nice decision making, stopping these Stalkers from doing anything. And the Battlecruisers now coming in, taking down that Tempest so quickly. Krallman really lacking the air upgrades right now compared to Brisingr, who's on 1 ship weapons, 3 ship armor. And now Krallman's actually moving, Brisingr is moving out with this army. Krallman might be in a little bit of trouble here, as I don't really think he's got enough at all. His Tempest continue to come out. If he can take down all the anti-air, he might be okay, but the Battlecruiser is going to be really effective. But that long range on the Tempest, so good. As the Mothership core comes down as well, throwing down the Time Warp, trying to help out here. Feedback going down on the first Battlecruiser, and wow, them Battlecruisers actually go down so quickly. The Tempest now, one of them does go down, and Archon going down very quickly as well right now. This Brisingr just going to fall back to these, to his mines, to his tank line, and just needs to bring the rest of his air army up as well. You know, them point defense drones from the Ravens will be so crucial. Maybe even Hunter-Seeker missiles on any kind of clumped up part of the army, as once again these Vikings have to be careful of the range on them Tempests, because that is huge. So the Tempest just kind of gathering, as again Brisingr ever so slowly moves forward. Oh my god, look at this, Krallman just move commanding through this tank line right here. Huge mistake right now, as here comes the rest of the army for Brisingr moving on up. These tanks are very well spread. The Stalkers blinking forward, they're going to get absolutely decimated here. Storm going down, that's not really going to help. Feedback's going down as well. Now you're taking down one of the Battlecruisers. These Tempests really just holding the line for Krallman right now, as Brisingr is going to be able to move his tank force up once again here. And these fours are doing so much damage, but he needs to take down these Tempests. He needs the rest of his air army here to help out with that, because otherwise these Tempests are going to be able to clean on up. So Brisingr, he needs another base though. He needs to be able to take these bases with some extra command centers very soon. Otherwise, I mean, he's just going to start not being able to remax. Stalker's actually coming from behind, taking out a Battlecruiser. Tempest now taking out these tanks, which aren't able to do anything at all. And looks like Krallman making a really good engagement of this. Brisingr has just got stuff all over the map, not all together at all. And so Brisingr, he's 30 supply up still, but he can't take down these Tempests, which is the problem. Whereas if he brought everything, which he's doing right now, he should more than easily be able to take it down. So look how fast these Tempests are killing off these Vikings with the Stalkers very quickly. And again, Brisingr needs to be careful. He's picking bad engagements right here. They've been trading very equal all game long, but he just needs to be careful not to throw away units like he's been doing, because that's really kind of hurting him, as it looks like this command center to the right hand side wants to land here very shortly, as DT is actually coming in from Krallman as well, looking like they're doing a lot of damage. So very annoying right now, as Hellions are going to look to deal with them. And well, what else is Krallman going to do? Warps in another DT to his 5th base. And that's another thing, Krallman's been mined from this 5 base for so long now, whereas Brisingr has been stuck to his 4 base, just getting his 5th base to the right hand side. But he's going to have to be really careful about defending that. You know, he can't afford to lose it again, so he's making it into planetary. He's actually going to come in for an engagement here. He keeps pulling back away from these Tempests, and again he's falling back to his tank line. The Void Ray is here now as well. These Battlecruisers and the Vikings taking them down so quickly, of course. But look at this, Krallman coming in with all these Stalkers, taking out a lot of the tanks and even up the supplies nearly. The Tempest taking out the last Battlecruiser right now. Again, these Ravens have just not been used all game long, and Krallman even in the supplies slowly but surely, as Brisingr is really struggling for gas, because he's been on these so few bases for such a long time now. Finally getting his base up to the 5th base up. Krallman not going to be able to do any damage here at all with that DT. So yeah, again, Brisingr, he's got a lot of Vikings up, he's got a few Ravens, finally going to begin utilising them once again. He's got a few fours, but he's not got that kind of scary tank line that he had once upon a time, because it's been taken out mainly because I feel he's had a lot of trouble with kind of keeping his whole army together and engaging efficiently. And now these Tempers pretty much laying siege to the 5th base of Brisingr, and he's going to have to move his army over here to try to deal with that point defense drone coming down again. And that's one of the really useful things with the Raven against this kind of composition, the heavy Stalker, heavy Tempest composition, as some fours to the left hand side come to clear up so that Brisingr can take another base. Needs to morph these command centers into orbitals. They've been up for so long and not really been doing anything. And well, again, Krallman with these Tempests with the Stalkers just sitting over here and looking like he wants to get aggressive to this base, and these fours are just doing so much damage. They're going to clear up everything. But Krallman's established a base to the left hand side, and a lot of Zealots warping in now is going to be able to allow Krallman to probably come in here and clean up these fours and not let this planetary fortress go, which is really huge. I mean, he keeps doing this, he keeps denying the space, so he denies the gas income, and so Brisingr, he's kind of stuck as to how much he can really produce. And it doesn't matter how many orbital commands you have, if you don't have bases to mine gas from or minerals, it's not going to help. So Brisingr really needs to commit some army to really kind of letting this base go up. As the Hellions now come in, they're going to be able to start attacking these Zealots. They're probably going to do a lot of damage, as again Krallman adding on a lot of Forge Rays now, and these Forge Rays can make a huge difference, as these Zealots are actually going to end up picking off another command center. This wall, it's on fire, and yeah, Krallman should be able to get it, but it looks like we're going to have the huge fight now, as a lot of the Vikings coming in. The Tempests are in the back. The tank line is non-existent though, and that means the ground army actually doesn't have that much to, there's no anti-ground army for Brisingr. Krallman's going to be able to keep the Stalkers alive. The Vikings take down the Tempests really quickly here, but again, the Stalkers, there's nothing to stop them apart from a couple of fours, unless these Vikings decide to land, which they will. How effective are they going to be against the Stalkers? Maybe not very. Brisingr, he's once again 30 supply up. Has he been able to do it now? Krallman's continuing to warp in again. I think the lack of ground army here for Brisingr might just hurt him, as Krallman forces the lift on the Vikings. He might be able to blink forward and get a couple of these Ravens. Looks like that's what he's trying to do, clearing out the fours, clearing out the tanks and the supplies. Gonna even up one more time for Brisingr, falling back into the point defense drone range. But these Stalkers, there's nothing here to really attack them, and so Brisingr, he's gonna lose a lot of this anti-air which he's got up, but that's not even gonna matter. These Hellions to the bottom left doing a decent job of cleaning up some Zealots, but I mean, the supplies are even. But right now, all of a sudden, Brisingr has loads of Vikings which are useless, apart from, I guess, I suppose they clear out the Void Rays quite quick, but I mean, where's his ground army? He needs more tanks. Finally some tanks coming up. Losing the tank line was so important for Krallman to be able to really make these engagements worthwhile, as it looks like we had a little bit of harass down here, the Hellions, and they didn't really do too much. I mean, it's a bit, at least looking at the work skill tab, because it's been so far in the game. It's blink forward from the Stalkers right now, try and pick off these last few tanks. The Vikings not engaging right now. Again, Brisingr just not fighting with the whole of his army at the same time, and that means Krallman just going to be able to run in, pick off the ground army, fall back, reinforce, and then just go in again with another army very soon after. SCV's running all the way around the map, trying to find a way to be useful, essentially. As Krallman, again, this focus on the right hand side base right now, and again, Brisingr just can't get his 6th base up. He cannot get this base up down here. Krallman's kept denying it, and that's just been absolutely essential to this game all game long. No gas mining from there or anything. The Hellions going to scan, clear up a couple of these DTs now. Could go for that over DT, but not really paying attention. Will he get it in time? Yes, he will, just as the defense, the point defense, the turret going down there to try and pick off the observer, but that's not going to be enough either, as some more Hellions now going to run into this base one more time, morphing into the Hellbats here. How much damage can they do? Going to move forward a little bit, but them Zealots look like they're going to be enough, especially with the DT as well. And looks like Krallman going to go try and run up this ramp again, but tanks in a nice little siege position right now, going to be able to hold, and Krallman's just going to have to wait, but he's got a supply lead right now. But again, Brisingr just doesn't have the gas he kind of wants. He's actually not mining all of his gas on his 5th base, which really hurts him. Now he's actually going to move forward here. Is he going to end up overcommitting? Krallman's moving over to the left hand side trying to deal with a couple of Hellions. He's actually going to come back instantly after realising that this army is up here. Hellbat's going to come back to try and tank, and again Brisingr, he needs to go with everything right now. Does he have too much anti-air? The Archon's coming in, the tank's going down very quickly. The Hellbat's doing an okay job of tanking. The Voidra is doing so much damage. The Vikings will win the air fight, but the Battlecruiser is going to get targeted down. Another blink forward. Brisingr was defeated because he's left the game, and Krallman will take the very back and forth. PvT. Really cool game. Love to see a lot of the HotS units there. We saw the Oracle opening, didn't do too much. Saw the Tempests and use. We saw the real power of mech in Heart of the Swarm. I really feel Brisingr, he had the game, and he had the game won, and he threw it a little bit. But you know, people make mistakes, and again, he just kind of didn't have all of his units all at the same place many times, and so that kind of really cost him it, and that pretty much wraps up the game. So guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I have been Wardí from SE2 Improve. If you want to follow me for future casts, you can check out, of course, the YouTube channel, youtube.com/SE2Improve, or if you want to see when I go live with my streams, or pretty much know when I'm uploading stuff, please do consider following me on Twitter as well, www.twitter.com/SE2_improve. I hope you've enjoyed the cast today. It's been an absolute blast. It was a fantastic game between these two guys, and well, that's it. I'll see you all next time.